Hey guys, Austin Malleolo here in the Hand Plan Studio, breaking down the elusive bar muscle up. Now, when we think about the bar muscle up, I want to pull back and think about how we can actually effectively teach this to a class with mixed abilities. Now, there's a few bus stops that we need to have. If we're going to be letting people get on the bar for bar muscle up attempts, we need to be able to have that strict pull-up. But also keep in mind, as a progression, it would be really nice to get people to be generally warm before we get super dynamic. So, thinking about when we have a progression for the bar muscle up, the very first step would be to teach, as we've talked about before in the hand plan, our stance, grip, and position. Hands up, just outside the shoulders, grabbing the bar and just holding on. And then we could also do some retracts, right? Some scap pull-ups up and down just to warm up. That would be step one. And that also gives you a notion, an idea of, hey, okay, now grip strength, all those other things. Now, the next thing from there would be to demonstrate the ability to do a strict pull-up. This is an important piece and as an assessment tool, but also a general warm-up for your athletes, just seeing how we can execute that strict pull-up. Now, from there, we then go into the kip. Now, we might not be, some of our athletes might not be able to do that strict pull-up. That doesn't mean they can't execute what's next. You just know that we're not going to be able to have them perform too much of the more higher skill versions of our bar muscle up. So from here, we do our kip swings. And this is important because we've taught this in our pull-ups. And now we're just going to keep pulling this on, where we come up, eyes forward, we come back. So kip swings, but with a bigger press down as we progress. So that will take some time to get your athletes through, maybe 3 or 4 minutes, where we start small, really working on opening head through, legs back, leg in front, head back, pressing down, pressing down. This is an opportunity at this point just to get people up on that bar, moving just a little bit, even if they're here and they're just going like this, knowing that they're not going to get that bar muscle up today, but they're still working on their grip strength, that upper body strength. Now, if we don't have that ability to even hang from the pull-up bar, we can do the same thing, but with a box or lowering the pull-up bar. Now our feet come on the ground and we can execute the same movement. So at this point, everyone's really in the same boat. Now, for the next thing, for the bar muscle up, what we know is that really once you're as far back here, now the bar muscle up, it's time to execute. Now the biggest difference from a coaching perspective, it's not a pull to the chest, it's a press the bar down and bring your elbows over the bar. That's a very challenging skill for people. So even if they have the strength, but they're really struggling with the motion, utilizing either a box or if you have pull-up bars that can get lower to the ground, that's going to be ideal. It's a little safer. But you have boxes, just making sure your setup is safe. Now, from here, what we simply do from this position here is the higher that you are above the bar, it's going to be easier. We can focus more on the skill as opposed to the strength. We bend the knees and we come through and then we press down. Through, press down. Notice how at this point I'm pretty far away from the bar, creating that distance, which allows my elbows to get over the bar. Now I can actually jump and it looks like this. Head through and then jumping over. And then I come back down, head through, and then up and over. I'm actually trying to get my hips as close to the bar as I can, right? And that's what we're trying to play with here, hips, okay? Because now we start to practice that rhythm. This is not a challenging from a pull or a push, it's more of a rhythm and practice perspective. This is a great way to get your athletes in your gym to even get that range of motion. Now, I lower this box, it becomes more of a bit of a pull and a push. This is a great scaling option. Your heart rate gets up. Now, the grip might not be as taxed, but it's a great way to practice the skill if this is something that we're kind of struggling with from an athletic perspective. So, this is a great way to start to play with it. Yes, you can utilize bands, but again, this is going to be a little safer. The safest option will be to lower the pull-up bar if you have those kids' pull-up bars that you can just attach and lower. That's going to be ideal. So you can leverage this as a warm-up, a skill session, and scaling options as you see fit in your class. So work hard and have fun.